Hello Guardians, today I want to show you what I believe to be the best class setup and weapon setup for running strikes as quickly as you can and honestly getting the most enjoyment out of it, because I've done over 1,000 of these things now and I thought it was just the ideal time to show it off. Now, there's been something that's been bothering me a little bit, it's just been dwelling on my mind. My last few videos, some things just seemed a bit off and I don't know what it is and I've just been doubting myself, but I realise it's because I'm just sort of trying to do it in a way that's not me. I'm doing a false commentary and it just doesn't feel right, so I'm just going to do my best to be myself and I don't give a shit anymore. So how do you make yourself the biggest badass there is? Honestly, you need to be a Titan. My personal choice is normally a Hunter, but if I'm making a video saying the best setup for speedrunning strikes, it's Titan, because of the Ward of Dawn. Now you're probably thinking, how is a bubble going to come in handy? You can just drop this shit right down on top of a boss's head and they can't do anything to you. If they're inside the bubble and they do like their ground pound attack, it will hurt you. Like, the bubble sort of deflects it, so if they're inside, you stand outside, and if they're outside, you stand inside. You wait for them to hit the ground by getting too close to them, and then you just pop out with a shotgun, boom, right in the face, and they can't do anything. It is honestly incredible, and it's probably the most fun you could have doing strikes ever. If you have 3 people with bubbles, it's incredible. Now, recommended grenade, I can't really give you an answer for this, because all 3 of them are really bad. Suppressor grenades, they don't come in handy at all in PvE. In PvP a little bit, you could like cancel out blade dancers and stuff, but there's a glitch with them right now where if a blade dancer's swinging, it doesn't even work, so that makes it even worse. The best choice is probably going to be the magnetic grenade because you can stick it to stuff, but even then, it's not great. And increased control is the jump you want to go for. If you press your jump and then turn it off and reactivate it, turn it off, you basically spam it 6 times, and this will give you like an extreme forwards push. It allows your character to move really quickly, and it's called skating, and it just works excellently for moving fast. Now, you're probably thinking, what do I want on a bubble? Yeah, most people go, hey, you want to use weapons of light, bro, because then you do more damage. Yes, you do more damage in bursts with each bullet, but the one you want to go for is Blessing of Light, because every time you get damaged with weapons of light, you then have to sit inside your bubble and wait for your shield to regen, and during that time, you can't do any damage. With Blessing of Light, you can pop out the bubble, just keep shooting it. Second that shield is down and you're risking death, just step back inside again, you got a shield on, you can just keep popping out. So your damage over time is actually better while using Blessing of Light because you always have health and there's no risk of dying. You don't have to wait to regen or anything. Armor of Light, you only have a shield while inside the bubble. You're not waiting for things to come into you. You want to be going out and getting them. Don't be afraid. Now, on the next tree, this is to do with, you punch an enemy, kill them with your punch, and it gives you a shield. There are a few choices here. I quite often go with this one while I'm by myself, which is allowing yourself to reload really fast every time the shield is active. But if you're playing with a good group of friends and you all know what you're doing, you want to get your supers a lot, you want this one, Gift of Light. Once you activate that shield, killing any enemy with your melee attack, so you can just walk around just punching everyone, it creates orbs of light, and it's insane. It's like so good. Other players can get their supers in seconds. If you're just punching dregs, like a crowd of dregs comes along, boom, dead. They all get wrecked. Now, the final one, honestly, it's not that good. It says it continuously recharges, but if it runs out, like they do enough damage to you, it doesn't keep recharging from the point of it running out. It just gets rid of it. So, yeah, fairly useless in my opinion. Now with this tree and this tree right here, you just sort of want to have your armor and recovery really high. Agility doesn't matter too much in PvE, you just want to prioritize those two. And then you got your increase to Ward of Dawn. Duration is always good when it comes to attacking those bosses and other small minions and stuff. It just works great. And then on the final tree, reduce the cooldown. Who doesn't want the bubble as much as they possibly can? I mean, there is another option that isn't too bad. I think it's, here. Ward of Dawn takes damage from enemies and creates orbs of light. That's another one that is very beneficial with friends. If you have 3 Titans and they all have that perk on, by having like a boss or an enemy attack it, you're just giving orbs to your other Titan friends so they can make another bubble, and then they can make another bubble, and then you can make another bubble, and then it's like oh wow, I just hit my controller, that's, whoops. Yeah, but basically it just works really, really well and I love it. Now, onto weapons. You have a few choices for your primary. For a very long time, I chose to use Universal Remote with another shotgun, and it worked great, but it's nice to have a backup primary that can actually have some range, and having 2 shotguns really limits you. It's not bad, it's really fun, like, I'm not going to deny it's fun, but it also has a slow reload, and the only way you can save that reload is with a specific perk, and only Titans have it, which is the one, of course, where you punch them, you get a shield, and it allows you to reload quickly. That's basically how I personally made Universal Remote good, but on the other classes, it's not going to work great. Now, on All-Rounder, everyone's going to use this one, Fatebringer. I personally don't use it because it just gets a bit stale. It's an amazing weapon, but I like to find more interesting things. My favourite choice at the moment is the Fulcrum, and I've made it into a mini Hawk Moon. One random bullet does bonus damage, and the last round does bonus damage. Really, really fun. And then on the middle tree, I got Small Bore. As you can see, it increases your range and stability, but it, decreases your magazine. Although you actually do want it to decrease your magazine, some people would see that as a negative. By making the magazine smaller, it gives you an increased chance of one of those bonus damage bullets actually happening, and it's just amazing. Now, on the middle tree, you want a shotgun. Now, people are going to go, why do you want a shotgun? You need to be fearless. First off, everyone's going to look at you and go, well, that guy's a badass. He's just jumping in the face of the enemies. He's not afraid at all. Yeah, I know I'm a badass, but you don't need to tell me. Now, shotguns like Fourth Horseman. The reason this is so good, people probably would think it's because it has a high damage output. It's not. That bonus perk, where it has a chance to give you ammo back on kill, is incredible. You can use it on red health bar enemies like dregs and stuff, and I would say it's at least a 30% chance. I can kill 10 enemies without reloading once sometimes. If you get lucky, it just keeps on giving you that final round back. It actually works on the final round as well. One of the tree perks is final round, which means the last bullet does bonus damage. So if you have one left in the magazine, you just keep killing these weak enemies. You can just keep going, constant final rounds, and it's insane. Now you're probably also wondering, why don't I just use this one because it's got high impact? High impact shotguns are good for PvP because it's like that one shot that you want. But in PvE, yes, having a single bullet do a lot of damage is good. But overall, the damage output of it is actually lower than something like the Dry Rot because you want to get as much damage in as quickly as you can. And high rate of fire is the way to do that. So Dry Rot is like poor man's Fourth Horseman. If you're on Xbox, you can use this. I've been using it myself at the moment so that I can free up space for other exotics like Galhorn. But there's always other choices. And many bosses like the Walker Tank, Sepix Prime, stuff like that, they have really big critical spots. And when it comes to that, you want to use Black Hammer. Because Black Hammer is broken as shit. Like, there's no other way to put it. You can totally understand why they're going to destroy it in the next DLC. Because right now, there's no reason to use anything else. If you're firing at those crit spots, you just keep getting your ammo back over and over again until the boss is dead in about 15 seconds. And yeah, it's fun and it feels a bit broken, but if you want to be doing speedruns, it's a must. And I used Vestian Dynasty for a while to get my 5,000 Vestian Dynasty kills. This thing is surprisingly good, just to take out the stragglers and stuff. As long as you have your aim on target, it can destroy them, and I love it. It's a really fun weapon to use. But yeah, my personal favourite at the moment is definitely Dry Rot, so I'll stick to that. It's mainly because I don't want to switch out from Galhorn. I don't want to waste those rockets. But yeah, heavies, you don't have too much choice. You don't want to be using a heavy machine gun. Their output isn't very good. So it's either Galhorn or a legendary rocket launcher, really. Now, Tomorrow's Answer has like the ideal perks. You can reroll this on any rocket launcher. You want your proximity for PvP, although it's good for PvE as well. So you can just sort of aim next to the target and it'll explode just because it's in range of them. And then having three rockets means you can carry a total of... Well, actually, the Tomorrow's Answer can carry a total of 8. It's like unique in that aspect. I don't think there's any other rocket launcher that can carry 8. But Galhorn is the ideal. They're nerfing that as well. They're going to make it so Wolfpack rounds do less damage. But that's just how it is. I can't wait for the next DLC. Now, I'm sure you understand that many of these weapons are going to become completely redundant when the Taken King comes out. But that's okay, because there's obviously going to be new archetypes that come out. They're going to be very similar to these weapons, but with just different names. So what I'm saying here still applies, but you're going to have to find the new ones that actually do this. For now, these are the ideal, and I can't wait to try out that new heavy fusion rifle called the Sleeper Simulant. That thing looks so fun, and I just want to know what the other weapons are. I've actually found out some news about some of the new strikes. First off, there's one, it's a Vex strike. It's like, you sort of enter the room, and then you're shooting it. It's in the middle, it's a cylindrical room, and these barriers come up either side of you, and they start rotating, and you have to follow around in the circle of the room, pick up a generator core, put it into the generator to sort of take down these shields so you can damage the boss. That sounds really fun, like I can't wait for that. There's another one, it's going to be a Cabal one on the Dreadnought. They're going to live stream that at some point before Taken King releases, so make sure you check that out. I don't know the date or anything. And another one sounds very interesting. Apparently, all the Hive don't agree with each other. Some sort of Hive overlord or something tried to overthrow Oryx a long time ago, so Oryx locked him away in something called the Sunless Cell. sunless, as in, you know, there's no sun in there, complete darkness, and that's going to be the boss fight. We're going to break into there and kill this hive leader or king or god or whatever it is in complete darkness. That's what I've heard, at least. I don't know if it's going to be complete darkness. I hope it is, and we only have our ghost as light. That would be really interesting. I'm kind of disappointed I don't have a PvP map like that, but it just seems super awesome. Now that leaves one more strike that we have nothing, like no information about yet. Don't know what it's going to be, don't know what race it's going to be. Actually, there was something else really interesting. They're going to make it so strikes have more replayability. Every time you enter it, instead of having the enemies always spawn from the same places, they're going to spawn from different areas. They might even be different races. Say one time it's Fallen, the next time Hive might spawn from that area. And there's apparently going to be different dialogue as well every time you go, so you get, you know, a bit more unique story, a different progression to it. Just strikes seem like they're going to be really cool. I can't wait for it. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with strikes, but that's just kind of my thing. I really enjoy them, and they're so easy to do solo and with friends, and it's just the best piece of content. So I've just ended up rambling on here. I was supposed to give you a guide about how to, you know, best speedrun strikes. I hope I did help you with this. Defender Titans are obviously the best, but you can use any other class. They all work absolutely fine. My favourite is the Hunter right now, just because I can't wait for the Night Stalker class. Once that comes out, I am going to be rocking that. Normally, I saw some videos of it with that Void Bow and Arrow. It looked like they can only fire one shot in like early gameplay and what people have been posting online. But there was some recent like PvP footage things that Game Informer released where they were firing multiple shots. Like their Shadow Shot or whatever it's called. They were firing 3 during the Super. And that gets me excited, because if you can fire 3 arrows, I'm going to feel like Robin Hood, bitch. I can't wait for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me. I hope this did help you. Sorry for the rambling, just trying to be myself, I guess. And I will see you in the next one. Destinova and out, Guardians.